met these Aussies down in Brisbane recently, and they're a couple of interesting characters because they've been across into India and they are making a difference in a small rural Indian community. And I'd like to introduce you to Karen and Jeff Hales. So let's hear all about it. Someone tell us, how did you get involved in this story?
Well, I guess our involvement in the story goes back to April 2008 when I went over to India with some other people from our church who are involved in mission work over there. And that was when I met Pastor Daniel and his family, and especially his son Israel, who was driving us around and acting as our translator. And this family, I kind of like really fell in love with this family. They had such a compassionate heart for the lost and for the poor and the widows and the orphans. And they had already bought 5 acres of land, which they took me to see. And they bought this land because they had this vision that they wanted to build a children's home so they could look after 50 children and also have farming activities to help feed the children and provide money in the future to cover the running costs of looking after them.
Well, Karen came back a changed woman. Prior to her going, she had plans to renovate the kitchen, and we were looking at that. But when she came back, first thing she said, "Jeff, scrap the kitchen." Well, she tells me now she hasn't said scrap the kitchen, delay the kitchen. I've got some other things we'd like to do, and so the kitchen went on the back burner, and now we're helping out with other people's needs in India, which has been fantastic for both of us. We're really enjoying it.
So I guess my thought was, yes, we do have a kitchen that's falling apart. We could put money into that, but we could also put money into building a kitchen. Like that kitchen would feed our family of 4, but we could also put money into building a kitchen and a home for like more people than that over in India, the children in India. And so, that's basically what's been happening over the last 4 years. So not long after I returned home and had told Jeff about all this, then I get some emails from Israel saying that they'd decided that they would actually take in 12 boys. And at that stage they had the land, but no money to build any buildings. But they thought that this was what God was telling them to do. And Pastor Daniel is very much a man of faith, and he believes that if God's telling you to do something and it's God's plan, then he'll work everything out. So they thought, okay, well, we'll take the boys in and God can work out the rest. And so they took these first 12 boys in, and at first they had them sleeping at the church. And that wasn't really working out very well because, with the monsoon rains, the boys had to walk 15 minutes back and forth all the time for their meals because we used to go to the Pastor Daniel's place for the meals. And it was very rough, especially on the small boys. And so they tried to rent a house, but nobody wanted to rent them a house when they had all these little boys to look after. And so when we came for our visit in October, which was Jeff's first visit, we saw the difficulties that they were facing, and we thought, okay, we think we need to do something about this.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I must admit, going over there, I thought, we should be able to help. We've got a lot of things we've got back here in Australia. We should be able to help them a little bit. But when we went there and met the children and met Israel, met his father and their family, our hearts just melted and said, yeah, we'll help. and without putting any restrictions on it.
Mm. And so we thought, well, we'll see what we can do to actually get this as a project registered here in Australia, a proper aid and development project. And that was where we started writing submissions to put the project in with Global Development Group Australia, which is a non-government organisation that has, they look after projects in about 40 different countries. So I think they have about 300 projects that they have. And lots of paperwork involved in doing that. But it means that anybody who donates to the approved aid and development activities of our project, it is tax deductible. So that was all a long process, and in the meantime we said, okay, we've got a little bit of money to start, and let's just start building. And so we started building in January 2009, and as we kept going, God just kept on bringing the money in as it was needed, and we were able to keep building until it was finished enough for the first 20 boys to move in June 2009, which was so exciting to see that when we stepped out in faith and obedience, that God did keep that money coming in, and you know, He always provides when He guides you. So yeah, it was excellent.
So from those early beginnings, we've just seen this this project just grow in a wonderful way, where we were originally accommodating 12 boys and looking after them, and now we're up to 21 boys, and now it's branching out and helping with widows. We're excited to know we're helping in the community now. Our neighbouring village, we're starting a tutoring program to help those children who are struggling with educational needs, to help them after school with tutoring, and helping the community with all the building works. They come and help out on the farm and help with farming and help with building, which has been great. Yeah, so this has really changed our lives. And first of all, it wasn't on the radar, as I mentioned, many years ago, and then also it's changed us because we've went to step out beyond our own capabilities, and that's been fantastic, where we've actually got to watch God do things that we couldn't really do. And that's in terms of the money side of things. Funds have come in, which has been really helpful. Sometimes the money's, it's been us outlaying money, but God seems to replenish the money in our accounts, which has been great. And on the field, you know, when we're doing things there, we've been getting to pray for the sick and seeing sick people healed, and we're just, that's just not us, that's God doing things. So we're amazed, and so it's just transforming our lives and making us look at things in our lives and say, is that really important? No, this is. Let's do more of this. And that's what we're doing.
We've been really blessed by the number of people actually are getting in behind what we're doing over in India. And so far we've got sponsors for basically all the boys. We've just gained a couple of new boys, so we've just got to get a couple more sponsors for them.
Yes, and if you'd like to get involved, we'd love to help you. We've got a website called www.shalomhomeindia.org, and donations are tax deductible, which is fantastic.